Welcome to Entice Conversations. This is your girl Felicia here where we talk all things grown and sexy.
This is your man Ernest, aka Esquire. Welcome back to Entice Conversations.
Welcome back. Yes.
Yeah. Before we jump 10 toes in,
Okay.
take a brief moment, fam, to subscribe, like, comment, and share. It helps more people discover the best, and I mean the best, grown folks podcast that there is.
That's it.
What are we talking about today?
We are talking about if I could talk to my 25-year-old self.
Let me take my glasses off.
Fam, if you could talk to your 25-year-old self, what would you tell them or yourself?
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot to unpack.
It is.
It's a lot to unpack. First of all, how would my 25-year-old self perceive me at this age? Right? Because when you're 25, can't nobody tell you know everything.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Anytime you can always talk your way out of trouble, right? It wasn't me, it was him. Right?
All right.
Right. I think one of the most important things when going back and talking to yourself at 25, or even talking to youngsters today, it's all about presentation.
True.
All about presentation.
Yeah.
Are you going to come to, and I'm going to give you some nicknames.
Okay.
Right? Are you going to come to Erotic Ernie as the gentleman? Are you going to come to Erotic Ernie as the man? Are you going to come to Juju as the... Say, what?
Question.
What?
What is ironic? Wait, what? What is ironic? What did you say?
Erotic.
Erotic?
Erotic Ernie.
What is that?
I know
you
have
do.
transformations in his head. Right?
Yes,
and
yes.
in his body. I be going through stuff.
Okay, yeah, but me and the people just wanted to draw a picture.
So I had this, back in the day, we used to spray paint sweatshirts and t-shirts.
Okay.
I gotta find it because I had a Kango hat on that was ironed and an Erotic Ernie spray.
Sprayed on...
What? That thing was killer. Y'all know, y'all only a few, well, everybody in Philly, y'all remember Erotic Ernie. He was that dude back in the day.
Okay.
But again, it's all about presentation, right? How would I step to Erotic Ernie? How would I step to Juju? How would I step to Lil Ernie? How would I step to Ernest?
Right.
And I think once we can establish that, also, and please chime in anytime you feel it, right?
Okay.
Do we communicate, or as adults now, them kids, man, I'm telling you, these kids today, they get on my nerves, they this and that, and blah, 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 blah. We're always downing them.
Right.
We got to open the dialogue with the mindset that we made those mistakes as well.
Yes.
Right. I remember I was on CNN. Remember that?
I do.
Right.
I do remember.
When we did CNN, shout out to CNN. Shout out to 100 Men Walking.
That's right.
Shout out to Felicia, who was our fashion coordinator for that one. And listen, all the thousands of people that helped out behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of people. Roxanne,
right.
D'Alonzo, B, Brian, G Money,
Cherie.
Did I say Roxanne?
You
Roxanne,
did.
Right?
Yeah.
So many people helped out behind the scenes. It's not even funny, right? So shout out to all those people, right? But when I was talking about the sagging pants. And I
Yes.
was saying, if we can pull up their minds, we can pull up their pants.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get away from the superficial and dig deeper,
Right.
right? But we got to be able to communicate with our young folks. So, Felicia, in the fashion industry, I mean, you've dealt with little girls all the way
Mm-hmm.
up to grown adults.
Right.
How did you communicate with the younger ones?
I think the group of young girls that I worked with, they were admiring the older models or me. So they were the ones that always killed the runway. However, it was easy to relate to them because they were like little women. Yeah, they were like little women. They knew how to stay in a child's place, but their whole mindset. Yeah, listen, we had a bathing suit scene back.
Uh-huh.
What?
No, go ahead. You had a bathing suit scene.
And some of the little girls wanted to be in that. I'm like, no. 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 You can't. You're not old enough. No, we're not putting no little babies on the runway in a bathing suit. No, it's too many perverts. No.
You had to do what? Put them in a child's place.
Right.
So, and listen, I'm all for that.
Right.
Yeah, they got little girls out here in fashion shows and things of that nature, but we got to temper them down to little girls and allow them to be little girls.
Enjoy it while you can.
Enjoy it while you can, because it's going to be over in a hot second.
Oh my gosh.
Right? Because I can remember back when I was, But anyway, right? So it is important for us to let our children be children. Stop giving them rights and thoughts, and take that phone and that iPad and that YouTube and stuff away from them momentarily so that they can grow and be children.
I think the number one thing is stop worrying about trying to be their friend right now.
That too.
Because that the boundaries is blurred. You can be their friend when they grown. Right now, you have to be the disciplinary and just shape them to walk in the right direction.
So, I put my cards down because I want to get my hands free.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm about to paint a picture for Felicia, right?
Okay.
So, Felicia, you talk to your 25-year-old self. You gonna go?
Yeah.
Well, not you gonna be swinging at Felicia or what?
Yeah.
You gonna put hands on the 25-year-old Felicia?
Yeah, because I need you to listen. I need you to listen with all things money related, relationship related. I need you to hear me. So, and I know the young Felicia, she thinks she knows. So she might have to get popped a couple times. She'll remember.
Your mom ever pop you in the mouth?
Man, my mom popped
Miss
me.
Mildred.
Listen, I knew the type of ring without even visually seeing it. I knew if it was gold, silver, 2 carats.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Not Miss Mildred.
Listen, she would always give me a warning. And she would always tell me, Felicia, be quiet. But mama, such and such Felicia, be quiet.
So she told you twice. That third time was the pop bow.
It was quick. She was quick with it.
I don't believe that. Miss Mildred, defend yourself. When you watch this video, when you watch this podcast, please defend yourself.
Yeah, come in the comments and let them know how you had to come up in my bottom lip a few times. So, yeah, I would... It's a lot of things that I would tell my younger self.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
But before you get into that, because I really want to hear what Felicia is going to tell her 25-year-old self.
Yes.
Before I tell what I'm going to say to my 25-year-old self.
Okay.
Real quick though, y'all feeling this? Y'all feeling this conversation? I hope you are. And if you are, please make sure you pause, share, like, comment,
Oh,
all the above,
hit the bell.
and hit that ding ding, hit that bell,
Yes.
and help us grow our grown folk community.
Yes.
Grown folk with a little bit of style, a little bit of elegance,
Yes.
a little streetwise too.
Right.
Once in a while, we gotta get
Yeah.
buck.
Yeah.
Not if you buck. Not get. Listen, come on, E, focus. Felicia's gonna talk to her 25. What you want? Hold on. I'm sorry. I don't mean to but I want to make sure our audience is involved. Make sure, if you can, please comment what you would tell your 25-year-old self.
Yes.
Right? We want to hear that. We want to hear that feedback from you guys.
Yes.
You might be able to shed light on something that we didn't even think about.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, Felicia, what you want to tell your 25-year-old self? Let me take my glasses off. I don't need them.
I jotted a couple things down because the 49-year-old cannot. The 49-year-old self forget sometimes. So I made a couple of notes, right? Okay. So one of the things I would tell my 25-year-old self is to stop confusing chemistry with compatibility.
Ooh, that's a word. Say that again to the people all the way in the back.
Stop confusing chemistry for compatibility. Wow. And listen, you know how it is. And you know it was. I have people still going through this at this age. However, at that age, you're thinking, oh, the chemistry is everything. This is going to be the love of my life. No. Okay. The other thing I desperately needed to tell myself, and it's still somewhat of a challenge. Okay. You don't need that bag, that car, nor that vacation. Take your time to get some financial literacy. If I would have known, so fam, let me give you a little back history. My around 26, 27 to 32-ish, I had a mortgage broker company. Money hand over fist. Couldn't cash the checks fast enough. My young mind, from never having money, no one ever being in my family having money and sitting down and talking to you about investing and how important it is to put some money aside. Yes, I got to go have the dopest car, the flyest bag. I'm flying here, flying there. And I wish I just would have invested in Google. Just a few $100s.
Okay.
Oh my God. Yeah. And leave it alone, Felicia. No matter how hard the times get, don't pull that money out. Leave it there. So that is on the money side, what I would tell myself. And then, you know me, on the sex side, always bring it back around. So, sex doesn't equal intimacy. Intimacy always comes with love. Doesn't always come with love, excuse me. So, we know, especially in our 20s when we were having sex, and if it was great sex, that this is who I should be with. Like, we need to be in a relationship.
I was a virgin in my 20s.
There's a whole show out about that. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, but yeah, just because he was able to break the back didn't mean he was the one. And just because there was some intimacy there doesn't mean it was love. And those are the three things
That's deep.
that I would tell my 25 years. And some I'm still telling myself now, to be real.
That's
But
deep.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's deep.
It's very deep. Yeah. So, Mr. Moore, get my glass here. What you telling your 25-year-old self?
What would I tell my 25-year-old self? One, excuse me, read as much as you can get your hands on. Reading will remove the psychological change that were and are still on our minds. Read more.
Yeah.
I would also begin that whole gentleman thing at the 25-year-old age.
How old were you when you did start it?
Oh. Actually, well, I mentored around 96, 97.
Okay. Okay.
But
Okay.
to actually see, I didn't know what I was doing. And I didn't come to full fruition until I came to Atlanta.
Okay.
And that was after 2009.
Right.
So if I would have known in 2009 what I knew back when I was 25, 26, a whole different person.
Yeah.
Next thing, and I probably would have to chin check me at 25. Right? I probably would have had to chin check me.
You think so?
Oh, no question. Yeah. Stop trying to be slick.
Right.
That'd be the one thing. Stop trying to be slick. And remember, young man, what you do today will affect you 10 and 20 years from now.
Yeah, say that again.
What you do today at 25 will affect you 10, 20, 30 years from now.
Right.
So if we're talking about investing, invest correctly. If we're talking about buying property, don't buy a single dwelling house.
Right.
Buy a duplex or a triplex or an apartment complex.
That's right.
Why? Now you have other people paying your rent or your mortgage.
That's right.
So you have that. From a love standpoint, stop looking at the body.
Yeah.
Stop looking at her body. Because that's going to go.
Right.
As Cat Williams says after she gave birth to that little child, look what you did to me. Get past the physical and finding your woman. And by far the most important thing I would tell my 25-year-old self, I would ask my 25-year-old self to ask me these three questions.
Okay.
Who are you? What is your why? And what are you passionate about? 25-year-old erotic Ernie, 25-year-old Juju, 25-year-old Ernest. If you can't answer those three questions, go somewhere, sit down, be quiet, and answer those questions. And don't come out until you've answered those questions, because that is the platform
Mm.
That is a platform for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this again. Who are you? What is your why?
Right.
What are you passionate about? And when you can answer all three of those questions,
Yeah.
and not just skimming over answering them,
Right.
in depth answering them,
Mm-hmm.
to the point where you may have to even add subtitles to them,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you at work? What is
Right.
your purpose at work?
Mm-hmm.
What are you passionate about at work? Who are you when it comes to dating? Who are you when it comes what are you passionate about when it comes to dating?
Yeah.
All of those, see, because it can
Of course.
transcend down and break down into multiple different categories.
Mm-hmm.
Until you can answer those three questions. Can I cuss? Get the fuck out my face.
The fuck
Get
out.
the fuck out my face.
Yeah.
And you not going to just go by and not answer this, because I'm going to come see you every day.
Yeah.
When we talk about accountability partners,
Right.
I'm your accountability partner.
He is.
Because you're going to fuck shit up for us later on.
Mm. Yeah.
I know I got a little graphic there, but
We're
that's
grown
important.
here. Yeah.
That's important to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our young men.
Yeah.
And if I'm out here now with future gents and teaching these young men how to be and do,
Yes.
I should be the same way. Or
Right.
when I go back and talk to myself, I should be able to talk to him that same way.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right. Right.
Second
Right.
thing, another thing I would add.
Mm-hmm.
It's only two things I require from you, E. These are requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get locked up and come home every night.
That's right. Yeah.
Don't get locked up.
Right.
Because once you're in the system, you're in the system.
You're
in the system.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the brothers that are actually in the system. Modern day slavery. So I can't affect any change possibly behind bars.
Right.
And number two, come home every night. That means don't get killed.
Right.
Don't get killed.
Yeah.
Every night that I come home and I get down on my hands and knees and I pray to Yah, and everything is everything.
Mm-hmm.
He's giving me an opportunity the next day to wake up again and do it all over again. So,
right.
All of that's what I would say to E.
No, that was great. That was great. I could recognize a lot of that. And I love the three questions that you were saying. If they're not able to answer, that you need to go over here.
Yeah, go sit your ass down.
Yes.
Go sit down.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not going to be any, because back then we had the boom box.
Right.
Turn that boom box off.
Mm-hmm.
No VCRs.
Right.
Right?
Right.
We're going to sit here.
Mm-hmm.
The almost 60-year-old E.
Yeah.
And a 25-year-old E.
Right.
And we're gonna establish some groundwork here that will then ensure that the person you marry will be her.
Yes, that body thing.
That child will be raised correctly.
Correct.
Right? So it's like throwing a rock into or a pebble into a ocean or a lake, and you have that ripple effect.
Right.
And it all comes from, what would I say to my 25-year-old self? So all my 25-year-olds out there, my 30-year-olds, and we know that this is for over 40.
Yeah.
Right. But we're making an exception on this one, right? Because
we
want to reach out to y'all. Right. We want to reach out to you as well. We don't want to see you on the news. We don't want you to be a statistic, right? We want you to grow up to be who you're destined to become.
That's right.
But you got to know, who are you? What is your why? What are you passionate about? Them three things.
Yeah.
Them three things.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Entice fam.
We
We
hitting
were
on something?
Yes. I know y'all are hearing everything that's being said, but we also wanna know, like we told said in the beginning, what would you tell your 25-year-old self if we could only go back and just whisper in our own ears? Wouldn't that be something?
Mhm. But here's the thing. When we look at our children,
Mhm.
they're versions of us,
Yes,
right?
that's true.
So if you got a 30-year-old, a
Mhm.
40-year-old, right? If you got a 20-year-old,
Mhm.
go holler at them, especially if they're the same sex, right?
Yeah.
Felicia, you got a daughter. You don't have a daughter.
I
But
have
if you
yeah.
did, right?
Yeah.
Go find a young lady that's 25 years old or 30, right?
Yeah.
And have that chat with her.
Right.
Y'all already know. Y'all already know.
Yes.
I do this. I does this.
Yes.
And I guess that's why I'm so passionate about this.
Mhm.
And no notes.
Mm-mm.
This is coming. If you notice, normally I have my glasses on because I read
Right.
my notes and so forth and so on. I don't need no notes on this one. This is
Right.
coming straight from the dome. This is
Mhm.
straight from the heart.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I talk to young men today,
Yes, you do.
no matter where
Mhm.
they are. I
Right.
can meet them wherever they are in life. The 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, the 40-year-olds, the 50-year-olds.
Right.
I don't have an issue with that. So, um, if you liked this conversation,
Mm.
if you are feeling it,
Yeah.
if you are the 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 digging this, right?
I like that remix.
You like the little
Yeah, that
remix?
was a
Yeah,
bring it back. Okay.
the chicka, if you feeling that, if you're enjoy rocking with Esquire, because that's who he is now, right?
That's yes,
Esquire.
he is. Uh-huh.
If you enjoyed rocking with Esquire and the lovely,
Felicia.
and she killing the lime green today, right?
Bright.
She killing that lime green. I wish y'all could see the shoes. It's
Yeah,
too
well,
much.
we're gonna figure this thing out with these shoes.
One of these
Because if
days,
y'all could see the socks.
one of these days, we gonna get Felicia shoes on camera. Cause somebody need. They not the
Yeah.
kitty heels, are they? She put me on game in that. I didn't know nothing about that.
Yeah,
She
them
put me on
kitten
game.
heels, especially our bigger feet women, they make your feet look bigger. FYI. So may want to put an inch or two on there.
Right? Please make sure you hit the smash button. Hit and smash the subscribe button.
Yes.
Make sure you like, comment, share.
Yeah.
I hope we actually got to
I hope so.
some real,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Some real conversation.
Yeah.
I was a little worried about this one, though, Felicia.
Really?
I was a little worried about this
Why?
because for a while I was saying, what would I tell my 25-year-old self, right?
Yeah.
And how could I step to my 25-year-old self?
Yes.
And I didn't really think about chin checking him until we started.
Because we
sitting here.
know who we were then.
Yeah.
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 You
So
know y'all know y'all was wilding.
it's wilding is an understatement.
I know y'all was wilding.
Understatement.
Smoking that weed in them yellow envelopes and right. This is when crack.
I
Right
remember
around the time,
those.
that's when you could get a nickel and 5. You would get 5 sticks. Wait, I'm saying I'm
No.
divulging too much. But that was also the crack era.
It was. Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
That's when they infiltrated our community with
Right.
a drug that what I like to consider genocide.
Yeah.
Right? Because that was just another way of eliminating. But I promise y'all, I'm not getting on that. I know I got my Malcolm X glasses on today, but we not going there today. I'm not going there.
Right. Right.
So make sure you check us out next Monday at 7.
At 7 o'clock next week. Don't forget, Make sure on whatever platform you're watching us on to leave a comment, like, share, please. That
And
would be
tell them, Felicia, we
fantastic.
are more than just YouTube and Spotify now.
Yo, we're on iHeartRadio,
iHeartRadio,
Amazon,
Amazon Podcast,
you already know Spotify.
YouTube.
That's where you can watch
and
us.
for all you iPhone users, we on Apple.
That part.
We on Apple too. We ain't forget y'all.
We did not.
We on Substack. We on just about every method of podcast distribution that you can imagine.
That is all Mr. Moore's doing. Let me just give him his flowers in this moment. Great job. Great job. You did that. iHeartRadio? Come on.
We get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get there.
So please help us spread the word. And we hope that you also enjoying the conversations.
We looking for some sponsors.
That's right.
We're looking for some guests to come on. Maybe you're proficient in certain topics. Don't worry, we coming.
Yes.
We coming. We're only going to grow.
That's right.
We're only going to grow.
That's right.
Yeah, so once again, thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
Yeah.
And as we always say, peace and blessings.
Good night, fam.